Most people don't fail during a crisis. They fail before it even begins. Everything looks normal on the surface. Stores are fully stocked. Money is sitting safely in the bank. Life feels stable, predictable, and under control. But behind the scenes, small warning signs slowly start to appear. Prices begin to rise, supply becomes inconsistent, and systems quietly start to strain. The problem is, most people ignore these signs because nothing feels urgent yet. And by the time they finally realize something is wrong, it's already too late to react. The truth is, crises don't just happen overnight. Whether it's inflation, shortages, or deeper economic problems, there are always early signals that something is changing. But again and again, people make the same mistakes. They wait, they delay, and they assume everything will stay the same. So in this video, we're going to break down 10 common mistakes people make before a crisis hits, so you don't end up making them too. 1. Ignoring early warning signs. One of the biggest mistakes people make before any crisis is ignoring the early warning signs. At first, everything still looks normal. Prices might go up slightly, news might mention shortages, or people might start complaining about costs. But most people don't take it seriously. They simply say, "It's temporary, things will go back to normal." This mindset is dangerous because problems never start loudly, they start quietly. Small changes slowly build in the background until they become something much bigger. And by the time people finally notice, the situation has already changed. The biggest issue is not the crisis itself, but the fact that people saw it coming and still did nothing. Those who ignore early signs are always the least prepared when things finally break down. 2. Waiting. Too long to act. Another major mistake people make is waiting too long. Everyone thinks they have more time. They delay decisions and tell themselves things like, "I'll prepare next week," or "I'll buy what I need later." But real crises don't wait for anyone. When things start to change, they change fast. Stores that were full suddenly start running out of stock. Prices increase within days. Demand grows instantly. And in that moment, people realize they should have acted earlier. The problem is not lack of knowledge, it's delay. Waiting creates a false sense of safety, and when action is finally needed, it's already too late. Those few extra days of waiting often become the difference between being prepared and being stuck in panic. 3. Trusting that stores will always be full. Most people grow up believing that stores will always have what they need. You walk in, pick what you want, and leave. It feels normal and permanent, but this is only true in stable times. During a crisis, this system changes quickly. Supply chains get disrupted, deliveries slow down, and basic items start disappearing from shelves. At first, people don't believe it. They assume it's temporary or local, but then they see empty sections in stores they used to trust completely. That moment feels shocking because people never imagined scarcity in a world of abundance. The truth is, availability is not guaranteed, and when supply breaks, even simple everyday items can become difficult to find. 4. Relying only on money. Many people believe money is the ultimate solution to every problem. They think, if I have enough cash, I'm safe. But in real situations, money alone is not enough. When items are available, money works. But when items disappear, money loses its power. No matter how much you are willing to pay, you cannot buy something that is not there. This is what most people fail to understand. In crises, availability becomes more important than price. Having access to essentials matters more than having extra money in the bank. And when people realize this too late, it creates panic. Because they thought money would protect them, but they discover that preparation is what truly matters. 5. Not stocking basic essentials. One of the most common mistakes is waiting until you actually need something before buying it. In normal life, this works fine. But in a crisis, this thinking becomes a problem. Basic essentials like food, water, and daily supplies are the first things to disappear when demand increases. People rush to stores at the same time, creating shortages within hours or days. Those who didn't prepare find themselves in long lines, empty aisles, and rising frustration. It becomes a competition for survival items that were once easily available. The shocking part is that these are not luxury products. They are basic needs. And when basic needs become scarce, life becomes much harder than people ever expected. 6. Ignoring rising prices. Prices rarely jump suddenly. They rise slowly, step by step. A small increase this month, a slightly higher cost next month. Most people don't pay attention because the changes feel small. They adjust their spending without thinking much about it. But these small increases are actually important signals. They often show that something bigger is happening in the economy. Smart people notice this early pattern and prepare accordingly, but most people ignore it until it becomes obvious. By the time they finally feel the impact, their overall expenses have already increased significantly. Rising prices are not just numbers changing. They are warnings that should not be ignored. 7. Depending on one source of income. Many people rely on a single source of income, usually a job, and assume it will always be stable. It feels secure because it works consistently for years. But life doesn't always stay predictable. Economic slowdowns, layoffs, or business changes can happen without warning. And when that one income source disappears, everything becomes stressful very quickly. There is no backup plan, no alternative support, and no safety net. This creates panic and financial pressure at the same time. The mistake is not relying on income. The mistake is relying on only one. Stability feels real until it suddenly isn't. 8. Following the crowd. People often feel safe doing what everyone else is doing. If others are not worried, they assume there is nothing to worry about. This creates a false sense of security. But the truth is, the crowd is usually slow to react. By the time most people realize something is wrong, the situation has already changed. Those who follow the crowd often act too late. This is simply because they waited for others to react first. In many situations, the majority is not early, they are late, and waiting for the crowd often means missing the chance to prepare properly. 9. Underestimating how fast things change. Many people believe change happens slowly, giving them plenty of time to adjust. But real-life crises don't follow this expectation. Things can shift in days, sometimes even hours. A normal situation can quickly turn into uncertainty. Supply chains break, prices jump, and systems get overwhelmed. People who were not prepared find it difficult to adapt suddenly. The speed of change is what surprises most people. They expect time, but what they get is urgency. And by the time they realize how fast things changed, they are already behind. 10. Just thinking, "Kutenkin ingen kud, it won't happen to me." This is perhaps the most dangerous mindset. Many people believe that crises are something that happens somewhere else, to other people, in other countries or situations. They assume their own life will remain unaffected. But history shows that unexpected events can happen anywhere. No place is completely safe from change. When people think it won't happen to me, they stop preparing altogether. And when reality changes, they are the least ready. The biggest shock comes not from the crisis itself, but from the belief that it would never affect them. If you look closely at all these mistakes, They all come from one simple mindset. People wait too long before they act. They ignore early signs because everything still feels normal, and they delay decisions because nothing seems urgent yet. Deep down, then they believe life will keep going the same way forever. But that is the real problem, not the crisis itself, but the belief that nothing will change. In reality, crises don't suddenly create problems. They simply reveal what was already building in silence. The real difference between panic and control is preparation. People who act early stay calm when things start to change, because they already made small moves in advance. But those who wait too long often find even simple situations becoming stressful and hard to manage. In that moment, they realize the same truth. They had time to prepare, but they didn't use it. So now the question is simple. Which of these mistakes are you seeing around you right now? Or maybe even making without realizing it? Because the truth is, the next crisis won't give any warning. And when it starts, most people will wish they had acted sooner.